Get into Chappell Roan because she is out here yet again getting into some drama. So Miss Roan, apparently the latest is she canceled music festival appearances after she got a backlash over not endorsing Kamala Harris. So she came out. For those of you who did not get an insight into what she said, I did want to bring up the quote again, where she said that she did not feel pressure to endorse a candidate, which some people feel is a relatively dangerous situation because she has a huge platform with a lot of young people. Same thing they were saying about Janet. Like, you run up in here and you saying all this stuff, but you don't realize that you have huge influence over a lot of people, particularly when it comes to Janet. A lot of Black women listen to Janet's music. A lot of her fan base are Black women. Yes, we have some of the gays, but for the most part, you do have a lot of Black women who support Janet Jackson. The same thing with Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan has a huge queer fan base, and a lot of people was feeling like some of the stuff that she was saying um was dangerous. And for you to say that, oh, well, it's all because of the whole Palestine situation and both sides are bad, and just paint it as that brush, people took issue with what she was saying, especially when it's clear that the Democratic side is more for LGBTQIA plus rights versus Republicans who have Project 2025, who will put things in place where in certain states, young people cannot get hormone blockers or can, get any kind of therapy or help in whatever regarding, you know, them identifying as trans. So because the cities, the states, whatever you want to have it, are dealing with that situation, they don't get the help that they need. And for her to say all this other stuff, they feel like you're hurting your own base and you're hiding behind your white privilege. So they said, though Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish have recently been outspoken about their support for Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris, Chappell Roan is holding off on making an endorsement ahead of the 2024 presidential election. The pop star, who rocketed to fame over the past few months, recently told The Guardian that she doesn't feel pressured to endorse someone, saying, I have so many issues with our government in every way. There are so many things that I would want to change, so I don't feel pressure to endorse someone. There's problems on both sides. I encourage people to use your critical thinking skills, use your vote small, vote for what's going on in your city. Well, yeah, it does. Look, local elections don't always help in a lot of situations. Yeah, it's a small part of the situation, but local elections is not always going to be the answer to solve the bigger issue. Also, when you say you don't feel pressure to endorse someone, that's good and granted. You don't feel pressure. But you saying there's problems on both sides, that's a blanket statement. I need you to be specific in regards of what you're talking about, in regards of there's problems on both sides. That's a given. Like in anything in life, there's always problems with everyone. There's always problems on both sides. Democrats got their issues. Republicans got their issues. Now, if you want to be specific in regards of how both sides are handling this Israel-Palestine conflict, then we could talk about that. Then you need to be specific with that. But when you sit up in here and you say blanketly, there's problems on both sides, I don't know if I can endorse someone because Democrats and Republicans are one and the same. You need to be specific in what you're saying because as far as people know, they're like, girl, you're an openly gay woman who does drag, which last time I checked, the Republicans are cracking down not only on the gays, but drag queens as well. So that's two. But you think, what, because you're a pop star, you're not going to be affected? And because you're a white woman, you're not going to be affected? Like, they're trying to come after your reproductive rights as well. So when you look at all these other things, now we can debate whether or not, if the Democrats just be doing the bare minimum just to shut y'all the hell up. Like, we can go into all of that a whole other time and nitpick and be specific with a lot of things that some people I know like to do. But for the most part, when we talk about these situations, you need to look at the bigger picture and not just be some one vote situation. Oh, because you're against Palestine, then I'm not voting for you. Which is the overall attitude. Okay, well then let's watch America burn at the hands of Trump or whatever the case is. I do wish that in a perfect world we had a multitude of parties and not just a two-party system. So yeah, so after all of that, because I wanted to point out the specifics, because I know like some people would just be like, well, what exactly did she say? Because everybody's going in on her and giving their opinions, but they're not pointing out exactly what she said. And she said that her most important issue is trans rights, saying they cannot have cis people making decisions for trans people, period. Which says, unless you plan on having a trans woman that's going to run for president of the United States, which I don't think is going to happen, not in my lifetime, we could barely get y'all to vote for a woman. Now I'd be shocked if she does win in November. I'm hoping, because I do not want Trump running this damn country again. Hell no. That idiot don't even know what the hell, didn't even know what the hell he was doing the first 4 years. You think it's going to be better the second term? And I've had people come to me and say, oh, well, yeah, we need to just go against the Democrats so that way they learn a lesson and realize that they can't take our vote for granted. I said, oh, now y'all want to do this now. When there's how many years we've been going through this shenanigans, and now all of a sudden, when Trump is between Trump Project 2025 and this mess, now y'all want to get a battery in your damn back and make changes or whatever the case is. So I wish we had a multitude of, something outside of a two-party system, but we don't. We dealt with the hand we have, and it is what it is. So you either shit or get off the pot, as I like to say. So she apologized because, I guess they dragged her all over social media and decided to cancel. She had 2 shows, one in New York City, one in DC this weekend at the All Things Go Festival or something or another. But she said she couldn't perform. So she said the following. She said, I apologize to people who have been waiting to see me in DC and NYC this weekend at All Things Go, but I'm unable to perform. Things have gotten overwhelming over the past few weeks, and I'm really feeling it. I feel pressures to prioritize a lot of things right now, and I need a few days to prioritize my health. I want to be present when I perform and give the best shows possible. Thank you for understanding. Now, of course, people got on social media and dragged her for canceling yet another damn shows within weeks. Remember, the month ain't even over yet, and she canceled a bunch of shows so she could perform at the VMAs. Whereas they're saying, you don't like fame, you don't like all this other stuff, but you're willing to screw over your fans so that way you could stand in front of a bunch of your peers at the VMAs and give us a performance of you dressed as Joan of Arc. So that's what you want to do. But then you want empathy for the fact that people are dragging you or people are not respecting your boundaries or whatever. And that's fine. I do believe that artists definitely need their boundaries respected. But you keep flip-flopping in a lot of what you say, and it's hard for me to feel any kind of empathy and sympathy for you when you keep going through these back and forth things. I don't know if this is a product of your bipolar disorder and you ain't taking your meds. But this is what this is given. It's given like, okay, she's having we're seeing her highs of highs and her lowest of lows in real time. So if you want to cancel, that's fine. But I feel like at this point, Chappell Roan, we're gonna have to call her go from Chappell Moan to Chappell Ruin. Because if this is a chick that is the poster child of ruining her own damn career, then she is definitely that girl. But I do find it interesting that, she also said that she didn't want to perform at the White House because, um, what did she say? She basically said that she didn't want to perform at the White House because I guess that she felt that if you go against the White House, that they're gonna do something to her or something or another. And I'm like, what party? Because I've never heard any of the Democrats, if you want to go and read a poem, about Palestine, that they were going to do something dangerous to her. Because what is it? Oh, there, I found it. So it said Roan previously said she declined an invitation to perform at the White House Pride event, saying during the Governor's Ball Festival in New York, we want liberty, justice, and freedom for all. When you do that, that's when I'll come. Well, here's the thing. I feel like she's trying to, because she also said this. She said, no matter how you say it, people are going to be pissed for effing some reason. I'm not going to go to the White House because I'm not going to be a monkey for pride. Well, sis, this would have been the perfect. See, this is how I know you trying to be an activist, but you don't know what the hell you doing. Let me give you some advice. See, the smart thing is you can't do nothing by being on the outside. You have to once you get yourself in the room is when you make the change. That's how I know you young and you don't know what the hell you doing. You could have went to the ball, you could have performed, you could have went to the White House for the Pride event, and then that would have been your opportunity to have a conversation with Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. Let them know your grievances. Let them know what you stand on in regards to trans rights and or any LGBTQIA plus rights and your feelings on Palestine. You could have let them know all of this when you get in the room. Now, if they go against what you're saying and try to shut you down and kick you out because that's not where they stand on stuff, that they feel like, okay, so what's going on with Israel is way more important than what's going on in Palestine, then you get on your little platform in front of your live audience or your social media and then spill the tea and tell them where, oh, this is why I'm not voting. You need to have the backup to be able to combat what you're saying. It just sounds like you're just releasing a bunch of hot air, and this is why people are dragging you. If you would have actually went during Pride, you would have had a little extra something, something to bring up in the conversation. You can't go and say, oh, I didn't want to go because I'm not going to be no monkey for them people over there. They don't really care about the gays, because that's basically what you're saying. You say the Democrats don't really care about the gays, that they basically just using us because of Pride. They ain't the only ones. Corporations use us down to the ground too. All of a sudden, every damn corporation under the sun, June 1st, they love the homosexuals. But then at the end of the month, July 1st come around, where all them damn pride flags at? In the garbage. So they all do it. But you have to be in the words of Gandhi, you got to be the change you want to see in the world. You can't just sit and blow a bunch of hot damn air and think that that's going to affect change. Especially when you are on this huge meteoric rise and you're getting all this attention and you have so much influence over young people. The very audience that, well, I don't know about the Republicans. I don't know who they trying to go after at this point. They already got who they want in lockstep. The crazy racist, whatever. That's who they already got. They haven't really tried to cross over the aisle and reach out to other people and try to grow their audience. They just turn everybody off. They went against women. They went against black folks. They went against gays. They went against everybody. So they only basically just talking to a bunch of bigoted people. That's basically their audience. But you have a platform where it's like young people already feeling a ways about whether or not who they want to vote for. So we're on sketchy waters. And a lot of you celebrities have to realize that y'all have a platform that you need to be aware of the things you say and what you put out there. So you can talk about your mental health, which, yes, sis, work on that. But oh, and then there was a post I saw on Threads where they was talking about this, and Garbage, shout out to them, the band with Shirley Manson as the lead singer, said this. She said, after what we did to Sinead, Britney, and Justin Bieber, I really hope the world leaves Chappell Roan in peace so she can recover her equilibrium. And I feel like, you know what, sis, if you need to take some time, take all the time you need. Because I understand that, this industry can be overwhelming. So yes, I have empathy with you on that. That yeah, this industry can be overwhelming, that you need to prioritize your health. I feel like that, when I was growing up, the way that people could just say things and you stick your foot in your mouth or whatever the case is, you had time to recover. Things are constantly happening in real time. So I can understand it's like, no matter what you do, people are always going to comment and say whatever. And I do believe that's going to be overwhelming. So I would not want to trade any of this stuff in the world for this newer generation. And what y'all going through, I'm glad I came from the time I came up long before the internet. So I didn't have to grow up in with the internet and all this other stuff and people bullying. And if I got into fights in school, that, once the fight was over, whether I won or I lost, it stayed where? Over there. It didn't happen. The bullying and everything didn't constantly happen on social media with people tweeting at you or posting negative stuff on your Instagram page or whatever the case is. And it gets to a point where you feel like you want to take your own life. So I don't envy with all this other stuff. I'm glad I grew up in the time I grew up in. But Chappell, you need to be a little more mindful and demure in whatever the stuff that you say in regards of like what you're putting out there. You really have to think before you speak, because people could just misinterpret what you say and turn it into a whole nother situation. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.